Now, I have seen in the past that you do play video games sometimes, so I must ask you, do you play Animal Well?
No, I do not.
Have you played Animal Well?
No, I have not.
Will you play Animal Well?
Maybe.
Then will you play Animal Well? Hello folks, welcome back to Stuff I Make Because I'm Bored. My name is Sin and... Oh, hang on. There we go. Hello folks, welcome back to Stuff I Make Because I'm Bored. My name is Sin and it's been a while since we've chatted like this, hasn't it? I've been super busy working on that script that I've pushed like 2 months further down the line now. So mega shout out to the person in my comments who said, you should have backup plans in case your planned video takes longer because, but I'm still working on the huge video. It's in the finaling stages now, sort of. I'm anticipating it's gonna be really big, so look forward to that. But today, we're not here to talk about theoreticals. No, we're here to talk about actuals. So let's talk about a game I briefly lost myself in, Animal Well. But before I begin, 2 things. Number 1, if you have photosensitivity issues, when you start the game you have to turn off reduce flashing. I actually didn't know this setting was a thing until literally 2 minutes ago as I was writing the script, so I'm sorry some of my footage may include flashing. And number 2, I think Animal Well is best experienced if you go into it completely blind. It's a puzzle platformer game, so I can't really discuss the game without giving at least some of it away. So if at any point any of this sounds interesting to you, pause the video, play the game, and come back. Alright, let's get into it. Animal Well is an incredibly charming, haunting, pixel art puzzle platformer by developer Billy Basso, released on May 9th, 2024 for the Switch, PS5, and Windows. It was released to incredible acclaim, receiving a 10 out of 10 score by almost every publisher, except Metacritic? I guess Gcritic 12 just wasn't a fan. You play as a little slime blob guy, exploring the world inside a well, solving environmental puzzles. As you explore, you find tools that help you interact with the world in different ways. Some tools help you reach areas you couldn't before, some affect the environment, and most of them have a deeper purpose than what you can glean from a first look. In fact, some of the items can make you think, I'll never need this item, and then they become absolutely invaluable later on. Being a platformer, the controls are incredibly tight and responsive. Anytime I missed a jump or misused my tools, I found myself blaming just myself and my lack of skill, and not the game's controls for being unfair. When you start a new game, there's a very short cutscene-ish thing that shows you 4 little flamey-doos that disappear with each chime of a cuckoo. Then, you see a little flower, and it says, press B to wake up. I played with a controller. And that's all you get vis-a-vis a story. The game doesn't hold your hand on anything. It tells you nothing. Not who you are, not why you're here, not how to use the tools, and it only sort of tells you where to go and what to do. The only reason I even know that we're in a well is because the game is called Animal Well, and, well, here there be animals. Hey, get back here! The lack of direction makes the game feel completely driven by the player's engagement, their curiosity to find out what's around the next corner, and their ability to observe and experiment, while at the same time making the player feel very lost and alone. However, this world isn't exactly friendly to a little slime blob guy. As you explore the well, there are some creatures that can and will harm you. Admittedly, when I was going into the game at first, I wasn't really expecting that some things would actively want to hurt me. Like I said, Animal Well's a puzzle platformer. Sometimes it's really hard to make precise jumps or use my tools correctly when some creature is actively hunting me down. This gives the entire game, though beautiful, a very deeply unsettling feeling at times. You never truly feel safe, not even in areas you've visited before. Ah! Oh my god, a kangaroo! And this effect is greatly amplified by the incredible soundtrack. Seriously, it's amazing. The entire game is just dripping with atmosphere, so if you really want to play it, I recommend playing it with headphones. As you explore and gather new tools, you uncover several different regions. Each region is built to be explored using a specific tool, but don't let that fool you. Every tool is useful in almost every part of the map. Every area has its own unique look, and each room you enter feels unique enough within the regions to help you keep track of where you've been. And this ends up being quite helpful, as through the game, you'll find yourself backtracking a lot through every area of the map. Most of the puzzles in the game aren't necessarily difficult on the surface. Push the button to activate the thing, turn the crank to raise the platform, that kind of stuff. But sometimes you encounter something where you simply have no idea what you could do to get past it. Tell me your secrets, monkeys! And you'd think this would be annoying, feeling like you don't have all the answers. But the map is very open-ended, which makes it easy to move on and file that problem away for later investigation. I'll be back for you, monkeys. I never really found myself frustrated at not knowing how to solve a puzzle. Based on the other puzzles in the map, I figured I simply didn't have all the tools I needed to solve it yet, and knowing that made me excited to figure it out. What tools did I need? What else could I do with those new tools? However, this also meant that sometimes as I was solving puzzles, I figured out a new mechanic or found a clue in the environment or a new way to interact with the world with the tools that I already had, which showed me that all along I did have the answer to the problem. I just needed to level up my brain and figure it out. And this is where Animal Well really excels. Like I said, most of the game is fairly straightforward, and while the game doesn't spoon-feed you, like, any information at all, really, there are hints to the puzzle solutions hidden all over the map, but they rely on you, the player, to find it, and then to figure out how to use it. This makes the puzzle solving in Animal Well feel incredibly satisfying. I can't count the number of times I went, "Oh, I knew it!" Or, "What? What?" Or, "Of course," as I played. And to top it off, the game rewards the player for figuring out puzzles like that with collectibles, or even new tools. Every puzzle in the game can be solved using your own wit. Alright, we're heading into spoiler territory. So as I said, Animal Well is best played blind. If you haven't yet, please play it now. We're heading into spoiler territory. What are spoilers for a game that has basically no story? Well, without a story, the game mechanics and the puzzles are really all the game has. And I want to talk a bit more in depth about the tools you get, the experiences I had while solving some of the puzzles, and a few of my gripes that I can't really discuss without giving away how some fundamental game mechanics work. And while a puzzle game can still be satisfying to play, even after you know how all the puzzles work, for me, the enjoyment comes from the "aha, I get it!" moment, not the "okay, cool, I've done it" moment, you know? So let's talk a little bit more about game mechanics. As I said, as you explore, you find tools that help you interact with the environment in unique ways. And in the end, if you find everything, you end up with 12 completely unique tools. And what I love about them is that every single tool is useful in its own unique ways, without overlapping too much with the other tools. Both the bubble wand and the disc help you traverse long distances, and though they overlap, the bubble wand helps you reach higher places, while the disc helps you reach further places. But that's really where the similarities end. Both the disc and the bubble wand interact with the world in different ways. The bubble wand lets you interact with these wall catfish mouth things, and the disc can hit switches and distract dogs that would otherwise want to munch on your succulent blobby flesh. And in a similar vein, both the slinky and the yo-yo can push buttons, but while the yo-yo has a multi-directional yoing, the slinky can be put down on buttons as you walk away, or be timed to land on a button using the environment. This meant that through the whole game, I never ended up particularly favoring one of the tools over the others. There was always a time and place for each tool. My personal favorite item is the flute. There are so many uses for this item that you wouldn't even think were possible. And also you can play little ditties. Okay, so cool tools, cool visuals, cool gameplay. Let's talk about layers. Like I said earlier, the puzzles in this game can be completed using only your own wit. That was mostly true, at least for the Layer 1 and Layer 2 puzzles. You see, Animal Well has 3 layers of puzzles built into the game. Now me? I have only completed Layer 1 and Layer 2. I found some of the secrets of Layer 3, but I refuse to go any further than that. I have heard some crazy things about what you're supposed to do, and I don't wanna. Layer 1 of the game is considered the baseline game, and it's how you get to the credits for the first time. This layer doesn't even require the player to find all 12 tools, just what's needed to find the 4 flames from the opening cutscene and beat the final boss. Yes, this game has bosses, did I tell you that? Layer 2 is what's called the true ending of the game, and it requires the player to find all egg collectibles hidden in chests throughout the game. This allows the player to trigger a second final boss, and when that boss is defeated, the player gets to the second credits. And you can do all of this without looking anything up. Everything you need is in the game. This is where the backtracking starts to set in and it can start to feel a bit tedious, but if you observe your map carefully, you can see hints as to what you need to do. Why is this tiny piece of the map colored differently than the rest? You can use a tool here. Why is there a tiny gap in the wall of this room? You can go through there. And once you become attuned to these clues hidden in your map, you start to see clues hidden through the environment too. Like this wheel, where you first find the flute. Huh, that's weird that they're numbered like that. And then later you see this one. Huh, it's weird that this one has faces instead. Wait, didn't that ghosty goo have faces on it before I obliterated it with a firecracker? Okay, so based on my notes here... Oh my god! That wasn't scripted, by the way. When I was replaying the start of this game so that I could show you the opening and some of the earlier parts of the game and stuff, I came across that ghost and recognized the faces on it. So I loaded up my game with the complete save file and came back to it, and lo! Layer 3. So in some of my previous clips you may have noticed a cute bunny that I couldn't reach near the starting area of the game. These secret bunnies make up what is known as Layer 3. From what I understand, there's like 20 secret bunnies hidden around the map, and the way to find these ranges from find out how to reach it, like the first one, or print out a piece of paper, fold it, and get an origami bunny, apparently. And these ones can, I believe, also be mostly solved by one player, except the mural bunny. This one requires you to work with other players, as everyone gets just one small part of the final mural. I didn't feel bad looking that one up. Now, I only skimmed the list of secret bunnies from a walkthrough I saw just to see how many bunnies there are total, and it's 20, but I myself have only found 8. Actually, it would be 9 now, wouldn't it, with the ghosty goo bunny? And finding these is probably the most rewarding part of the entire game. When I found the ghost one, I actually jumped out of my chair and yelled. It felt amazing. Wait, there's that dolphin statue with the bunny ears. Maybe if I...
Many hours later.
Just kidding, I'll do that after I'm done recording this video. So yeah, that concludes my discussion of Animal Well. I freaking adore this game. I absolutely loved the visuals, the music, the atmosphere, but most of all, figuring out how to find the bunnies. I was gonna give this game a 9 out of 10 originally, docking 1 point because of the flashing that I warned you about at the beginning, but now that I know you can turn it off, always read the settings, kids, I'm changing it back to a 10 out of 10. This game is such an incredible experience, and I cannot recommend it highly enough. Even if you've watched this whole video, I left so much of the game out. How all of the tools can be used, where to find the eggs, how you can use the flute to tell. Please, just try it. It's amazing. And then come back here and tell me your thoughts. So I guess I'll ask you again. Have you played Animal Well? Will you play Animal Well? When will you play Animal Well? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for spending some time with me. Leave a like and subscribe if you'd like to see more videos like this in the future. I post videos on the last Tuesday of the month. If you want to hear from me more often, you can follow me on my social medias. You can find the ads here and in the description. But that's all for today, folks. I'll see you in the next video. Bye! SIMBIB, stuff I make because I'm bored. Will you release your big video?
Maybe.
When will you release your big video?